now, please. Attention, attention. Attention.
Yeah, for those that are listening.
First of all, I just want to make a reference to the White Crosses. The ones with the names on them there are all victims that I have spoken to who could not be here because I don't need that. I don't need, no. I was speaking to Anne Doherty a few moments ago. She's obviously down in, Patrick Nugent is in Clare, the Collins are in Mayo, Patrick O'Donoghue, his sister, is in the UK, Ainsley Shanahan's family are in Limerick. I was talking to her mother, who recently died just before she died. Cahill has been buried since 1995 in Cork, and nobody from the guards is looking for his body, and his parents are going to go to their grave, like so many in that line, without ever getting justice. Ciara Breen is murdered and missing in Wexford. Jeffrey Hennon was murdered and his father is still looking for justice. Mr. Kelly has been so good to come up from Limerick, he's looking for justice. Thomas Moran was murdered, they're still looking for justice. Shane is missing, believed suicide, but he's still missing. Desmond Walsh murdered, still no resolution. No resolution to this case. Darren Bennett and Lee Slattery. I could have brought 50 names today to tell you just how bad the system is and how bad families are being left down, because basically mothers and fathers and siblings and grandparents are going to their grave and they don't even get a call once a year with an update on how their case is progressing, and that is not justice, and that is not the work of any police force. And I'm here really to say that people have got to contact human rights. There are laws in here from the EEC, and you have got to put the government under pressure to introduce them, because these people are being denied their rights. So you can send your case to Darragh Mackin in Belfast under human rights, and he will advise you if he can act for you on legal aid. And equally, you need to familiarise yourself with the new laws in from Europe that are victim rights, and you should know what your rights are, and don't be fobbed off by the justice system as it is. So basically, that's why I'm here. I'm here to support all the victims of Garda wrongdoing. I think it's shocking. I think there's too many families just left in limbo, and I feel that if you stick together and fight and look at what your rights are, that you have a genuine hope of changing the system as it is. That is the reality. If you don't fight the system, you're not going to make it better for the future generations. So I think that's about all I have to say. And obviously it's the same with suspicious deaths, it's the same with cover-ups or dying in custody. You do have rights, and you need to, you know, I don't know if it's any good standing outside here today, but I do know just that bit of information I give you could be vital to you. Darragh Mackin doesn't sit on it. He has taken 30 cases from the Republic in the last 2.5 years, and he has been astounded at how bad things are in the Republic. So he would just give him the case, and he will send his solicitors to see you free of charge, and if he can help, he can. And that's about the only hope that I can give people here attending, because otherwise, if I was referring to the Justice Department, it's just I just could not give you that sense of hope.
Yeah, there is no hope.
There is no hope.
Because all down through the years I tried to get answers, and all the guards in Mountjoy Police Station, Coolock Garda Station, they sat on it and covered it up. They told me that Christina and Paul is dead, and I tracked him down and I found out. I told him I was talking, how could she be dead, Christina be dead, when I was talking to the social worker that has all her records. I had to send in my marriage certificate and my birth certificate, everything that I had. As soon as I sent that in, he says, yeah, come in and discuss Christina's records. Now, if Christina was dead, they wouldn't be doing that. And then she says to me, Tricia Callahan, why are you doing this? You gave your baby up for adoption. And I said, I didn't give her up for adoption, she was stolen. And the minute I said that to her, she closed the records and she ran. Now, if I had known her now today, I'd have swiped that file off her and I'd have ran with her. But I told the guards know everything about her and they're covered in her.
Well, that's why you should
Another
get
one.
onto Darren Macklin. That's why you should get onto him, and you just ask for a copy of your file, and he'll view your file, and if he can help, and I'm quite certain of what you're telling me,
Yeah.
he would help you.
Yeah.
You know, they just beat you down and wait for you to have
But
high blood pressure.
that's all they done.
Yeah.
They all down the years said I was chasing a ghost. Christina is dead. I even went to the hospital. And I said, if Christina is dead, I want the
Death certificate.
The death certificate. They said there's none. And I said her remains, right? I want to get DNA samples done from me. The superintendent from Mount Joy Guard Station, he came along with me, and I said to him, when they're getting the DNA, DNA samples, it's usually of the heart, the lungs, the liver and the kidneys. And he said, you're watching too much television. So I went in to see the housemaster in the Rotunda Hospital, and I went in the board meeting. I said to him, can I ask you what samples that you're giving me? And he said the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys and the brain. And I looked at your man and I said, who's looking at too much television? After a year, there wasn't enough DNA from the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys and the brain. There wasn't enough to make a sample to prove that I was Christina's mother, because it was a bloody lie. Because how the hell would she be dead when I'm after talking to the social worker and that she had the record? She was taken out to Killiney and Paul was taken to Drogheda, and it was a nun in the Drogheda that told me that the boys were took from the Rotunda Hospital, the women that wouldn't give their babies up for adoption. I was knocked out for the birth, and when I came around, they told me that Christina died. 18 years later, I was told that I had twins, and Christina didn't die. She's very much alive. I had to trace the whole. Our family was turned upside down by these blackguards. Took it upon themselves to just take it. The nun says that the boys.
This highlighted?
I went everywhere, and what's it like? They sit on everything.
Stonewall.
They stonewall you.
But did you ever get any reporter from the Times or anything like that
no.
highlighted?
I went to all the papers, and they were telling me about shut. I went to the papers in Drogheda to highlight what was going on in Drogheda. I went to the papers here, every paper here, and none of them would take the story, because the nun said, or the guard said in their own words, I was the first case ever to come forward about the stolen children.
Oh my God.
The first case, and he says, how tough are you? I said, I'll take it. And he said, you're taking on the government, you're taking on the state, the churches and the Rotunda Hospital. Now, the Rotunda Hospital is not the only one that's involved in this. You have Lourdes in Drogheda, then you have St Mary's out in Killiney, and all the different hospitals around the country. Just because you weren't married at the time, they didn't deem you worthy to look after your own baby.
And what year was the children born?
That was on the 23rd of September in 1979. Now they separated. Now the nun from the RGAS. Right, I went to Rotunda and I was talking to the social worker there at the start at Brass Tacks. And I went in, I seen the social worker. I didn't say anything about stolen babies. I just said, I gave birth to her 18 years ago, and I believe the baby was put up for adoption. So anyway, she comes out and she says, I have to write into the hospital and ask them, was I pregnant? And like they do everything to dry you out, right? So I said, so what did I come in with a ball up my jumper? And she says, I have to ask, was it one baby or two? And if it's two, what happened to the other one? And I said, while you're standing there, I said, they're shredding nectar. So anyway, I whipped the chart. I said, is that my information in your hand? And she says, that's none of your business. She was standing like this, arrogant. She says, that's none of your business. And I leafed her over her hand. And I verified my name and my address. And at the bottom of it, awaiting RGAS. And I said to your woman, what's RGAS? and she whipped her back. So I went into work, and a girl that was working where I was working, she says her sister Becky was adopted from the RGAS. She told me where to go. A little blue door across from the Pro Cathedral. Marlborough Street, just up that lane there. Anyway, I went there with my sister and I knocked on the door and I said to the woman, I said, an old lady, I'm trying to trace twins, a boy and a girl. They were born 18 years ago.
And it took you 18 years to know your twins?
If I told you how I found out, you wouldn't believe it in a million years, right? So it was an old lady that knocked on the door. She was clairvoyant, and she says, it was such a cold day, and she was 80 if she wasn't older, and she was frozen solid, and she was selling lucky charms, stones. So she went to take the stone. I said, give us 5, because I have 5 kids at home. And I was laughing. I said, I God knows my gang needs a bit of luck. But when she went to take the stones out of her back, she was shivering. And I said, oh my God, what possessed to come out on a day like that? And I brought her in, give her a cup of tea. And when she knocked on the door, I was in the middle of wrestling I had Jonathan under my arm, my eldest son. We were playing wrestling, and having a bit of crack. But she was laughing. She says, you've such a happy family, I'd love to tell you your future. So anyway, she says your eldest son is doing very well. He's talking about the military and all this. And I'm looking at Jonathan, he's fluffing up his chest. It's only 12. So anyway, Joanna, my eldest daughter at home, she's the second eldest girl, she was doing that, don't say no. And then she says, your eldest daughter's doing well. And I burst out laughing, and she got annoyed. She says, what are you laughing? I said, look, love, I'm not laughing at you. I said, that's my eldest girl, she's doing her leaving. And I said, that's my eldest son. She says, she looked at Joanne and then she looked at Jonathan. She said, I'm not talking about them. She says, I'm talking about your firstborn. You had twins. And I said, all right, the joke is over. And she said, I'm sorry to upset you. She said, but your daughter didn't. I said, gave birth, I said, to a girl. She died. And she says, well, I'm afraid to tell you, she says, your daughter isn't dead, she's very much alive. And so was your son.
And that's how you found out?
So anyway, I traced Paul.
This is nearly as good as a film.
I traced Paul. Paul is a detective in the Garda Síochána.
Oh.
She says, I see a uniform, he's searching records, he's going to join some. Yeah. But anyway, the eldest son, and they won't even tell him that his mother is alive. He's looking now. Your woman in the RGAS says how they hid him in the system was they changed the mother's name on the birth cert. She says your name is Anna. She says it could be Mary or Margaret on the birth cert. She says they'll be separated at birth. Well, there's 10 months between the two of them on the record in the register. Yeah. So they don't even know that they're one of a twin. Do you know what I mean? So the girls were taken out to Killiney and registered.
Where's your daughter
being
now?
born then. I haven't met her. They won't further the records. They won't give me any information because my name is not on their birth cert, he said. And Paul, he was taken to Killiney and registered in Drogheda as being born in Drogheda.
But you've never met him either?
I had to do all my own research.
Darren Mackin, actually will help you. He has a solicitor coming here to Dublin to do it.
You've never met Paul either?
No, never. Only from what I know from them is just from the records. That's all.
And would you not put something?
No, there was a detective when I was investigating it, and I can't think of his name, but he was absolutely lovely. And I said to him, he says, behind this blackguard's face, he's arrogant, you're watching too much television.
Yeah.
I asked him, Morris I think was his name, absolutely lovely. I said to him, are you a father? He says, I am. And I said, can you just do me one favour and find out if they are alive? And anyway, the next time we were at the meeting after I got all the samples, I just looked over at him, and as much as say, and he just went like that. Yeah, they're alive. Yeah. So it was after that.
That is an amazing story.
That's unbelievable. That's actually.
So this is just one story of many stories here in Ireland. A woman whose children were kidnapped and